I'm TarotOracle, and this is something very cool that I found. Compositing things into other things. In other words, I mean, let's say that I want to make a key tarot deck copy. Well, not literally a copy, but you know what I'm saying? I want to make something like this, where I composite somebody that I know maybe into a scene that I get off of a free thing like Pixabay. So maybe get an image off Pixabay and sort of, log in some stuff there. But yeah, we can do that in Photoshop. So normally compositing is actually very complex and pretty horrific. So if you don't know Photoshop really well, and you can get Photoshop for the newest version for like $10 a month, what have you. So the Pixin Perfect compositing basically simplifies this whole thing. You can get it over here from Picture Instruments. I'll get a link in the description. And what it'll do is it'll allow you to composite just a random photo into another photo like that, right? With very minimal effort. In other words, you don't have to be like an expert with this. So yeah, you can change all the color and the environment, what have you. So again, just a, photo of a friend of yours or whatever, you jam it into another photo, make it look cool. So that's basically it. You want to make a key tarot kind of thing, or you want to make a composite thing, and here's how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to show you how quick and easy it is. Now it does cost money. Photoshop is $10 a month. And this is on sale. Well, it was on sale for $14 a year. Full price is $28 a year. Basically, $240 a month, what have you, with taxes, $20 a year. So they did have it. If you wait for the sale, it's $14 a year. So here it is. I mean, this is just it, right? Let's open up a grass, for example. So this is an image I got off of Pixabay. Just a really simple image kind of thing here. Let's go ahead and close close up the character. I don't know why that's there. Put it over here. There we go. Much better. So let's close out that. Don't really need it. So let's get this and let's input or basically composite a person within it. And so we'll go to my my list of images over here. So we have a picture of this girl. Let's say you have a picture of your daughter or whatever. We're going to just copy it, right? Just copy the picture and minimize it over there. And now we're going to go back to Photoshop and do some editing. So all you have to do is come over here to this compositing wizard and do arrangement. You want to make sure background removal is in there, and you just do paste clipboard. It'll jam, it'll jam this person into your image. Now, obviously, we need to adjust it a little bit, shrink it down at a minimum, and get it maybe here. That looks like a good perspective. Now, obviously, it doesn't match. So this is so cool. You go layer properties over here. No, let's go to masking. No, let's go to matching. Okay, matching. And you want to make these things match together, right? So basically you want to get that and just say match atmosphere. Just kind of match the atmosphere together. So very cool indeed. Let's go over to presets and click create thumbnails. And that'll create a bunch of options that we can just click, and we kind of shop around and see what kind of theme we want here. Like, ooh, that's kind of cool. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, that's very dramatic. I like that. I like that. I like this one the best. Now you can hold down Control and click it. The Command or Control, click it, and it'll give you different versions of this. Ooh, look at this, like oversaturated version of this right here. That's very cool. All right, so now we're almost done, kind of, which is kind of cool. We're almost done. I'm kind of picky, so let's do some other stuff with it. But I mean, for functional purposes, we're almost done here. Let's go and let's put some grass in front here so it looks a little more realistic. So I'm going to grab the grass over here, and I'm going to drop another copy of it into here. So just drop another copy of the grass and click OK. Okay, so now that the grass is on top of the girl layer, we want to click the mask, Control I to invert it. And then we want to get a white brush. So we're going to make sure we click the D to make sure our default brushes, we got white. We're going to move the opacity to, I don't know, about there, flow to about there-ish. Now you go to hair brushes. They got a built-in hairbrush. Let's get hair close. And then let's go over here and just paint into here some of the grass. So we're going to have to increase the opacity and flow. We got there. So that's not much hair wide, maybe. Get a wide hairbrush over here, make it a little bit larger. And there we go, a little bit larger here. And just come in and paint that into here. So yeah, let's get hair close. Come in, do a little painting. So you can see we're just painting in the grass right now. Make this a little bit larger. And yeah, so now we're just painting in a mask from the previous thing. So now we have some grass coming up through there, etc. Maybe some grass coming, kind of up far through there. Or maybe not. That looks terrible. But yeah, so a little bit of grass here. Let's go to hair single and make a couple of strands that are going to be a little larger coming through here. Oh, that's not good. That's pretty bad, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we get that. So that looks pretty cool. We got sort of the grass is coming up through there, and yeah. So that looks pretty good for a mask, so she's sort of standing within the grass, what have you, and she has some grass in front of her, so that's going to be cool. So that looks pretty good. Hair brushes are done. Now we want to adjust the light and shadows. If you go to structures, you do have textures that we can add to this. So let's click up in here, maybe the background or over there. No, let's click the background here. And we do that. So that gives us a nice light source, right? Very cool light source. Let's move that up here to the tippy top there. And we want to decrease the opacity of this light source so it's not as brutal. So that looks pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There we go. So it's not as brutal, but you have a little light coming in through there. Very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and that is going to save that off. And now we have a nice little light source there. We can add grain. We can add some blur if you want a little bit of blur as well. Let's see. It's not perspective. It is matching. Let's do matching. Let's do shadows and lights. So I do want to come up here into the girl layer. There we go. Click the girl layer, and I'll do some shadows. What I want to do is basically have some shadows in the back here because that light source is pretty strong over there. So I want to have some shadows down through here and just sort of shade some of these areas over here with these shadows. And yeah, sort of just make everything a little bit less saturated over there. So it's a little darker beyond here. And we can get the extra grass layer here. Where's the extra grass layer? It is here. Get the extra grass layer here and put some shadows into those as well, right? Make that a little bit darker because it is on the other side. Get the flow, jack it up a little bit, and make that a little darker because it is back there. So overall, that looks pretty good. Get the girl layer again. Whoa! Make a little bit more shadows in there, and yeah, it's looking really good. Looking really good for just being realistic, right? Looking pretty cool with that. A little more shadows in there, get the flow in there. And I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So we made a pretty decent composite within, 10 minutes? So this is quite possible to do. I mean, this is pretty easy. And this sort of makes it, you can click the help over here. It'll give you help on all the different things here. So lots and lots of help. In addition, of course, they have lots of videos that you can watch that'll explain everything. And but basically, it's really cool. You just add somebody you know into a composite, and you can do it fairly quickly with this library that they have made. So very cool. And the reason I'm showing you this is because a lot of people want to create something like that, right? They were like, hey, I wouldn't mind creating something fun and cool like that. And it is quite possible indeed. So within the help, again, you can go and watch the tutorial on YouTube. They got clickable links, and it's just really cool. There's nothing like this. Like, there's never been anything like this before. It makes it this easy. If you were to learn this from scratch, you would be spending quite a bit of time quite a bit of time learning all the different techniques, hours and hours and hours of video. But now you could just do it in a few minutes per card and end up creating something that's a composite of your own. So if you want, a little bit of a cliff action here, we can composite a cliff into this background and stuff like that. And you can add blur as well if we want to blur it a little bit. They have all the options for that. Let's see where that is. Is that arrangement? I have not blurred a lot with this, so let's go arrangement. No. Is it presets? No. It could be masking. Maybe. Maybe. No, that doesn't have the anyway. Perspective. Layer properties. Anyway, there's a blur in here where you can blur it out and make it a little bit more realistic. In other words, you have a field blur and all this other stuff into the background. So yeah, you can add that. You can do all sorts of stuff in here, and just overall, it's just a really fun little thing. Play around with it. It's pretty cheap. Layer properties. You have all sorts of things you can do here as well, and yeah. So you can do clipping masks, you can do brushes, you can do smudges, you can feather stuff with the brushes as well. You can do a lot of this other stuff. So you can also extract shadows from an existing thing and put it into here. So you can extract shadows from her and put it into here, what have you. So let's do a tilt shift. We'll do, wow, that is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, let's not do a tilt shift on that. No, let's cancel that completely. So let's do a tilt shift blur, not on the girl, but on the background. So let's remove, let's remove that. Let's do a tilt shift blur here. Drag this down here to where you don't have the blur directly on her. And then I want to move it down a little bit, move the whole thing down, and then blur it as we come up. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. A little bit of a blur in the background. Ooh, look at that. Very cool. Anyway, lots of cool stuff you can do by just clicking buttons, which is nice because, again, the skills involved in making this is pretty horrific. And you're going to spend quite a bit of days, weeks, months mastering this stuff when you can just click a couple of buttons and make it happen. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff that is possible with this particular plugin. So yeah, not sponsored, but I'm just telling you, the reason I'm showing you this is because I've done Photoshop since, forever. As you can tell, it's been more than forever, but, I've forgotten most of it, but I've done Photoshop for a long time and it's very difficult indeed. So the fact that it has now been simplified to this level is pretty exciting. Like I wish I had that, 10 years ago. Well, some of the features haven't been available 10 years ago, but you know what I'm saying? I wish I had that a long time ago, but this is fantastic. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Lots of fun, lots of possibilities, making some tarot cards. And yeah, so we can sort of trim this down if you want here. Make some tarot card out. Make a tarot card out of it. Trim it down a little bit. Make a nice tarot card out of it. Oracle cards, what have you. And there, we do need this to be like that. So yeah, rule of thirds or something, rule of thirds. So there you go. There's your card. Put a title at the bottom, and you are all set. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.